And it's likely because of air sealing and insulation problems. Inadequate attic insulation is the leading contributor to high energy bills, cold rooms, and ice dams. Great news, the energy-efficient pros at Snap Construction can fix it all. Stop the heat from leaking out and save. Call 612-333-SNAP or visit snapconstruction.com for your free infrared energy inspection. Install with Snap Construction and qualify for over $750 in rebates and incentives. State and city programs are now offering 0% financing for qualifying insulation upgrades. So call Snap Construction for your free insulation energy consultation and start saving on your energy bills. Call 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com. Snap Construction is arguably the most well-reviewed insulation and exterior contractor in the metro area.
Hey, it's Patrick again. 'Tis the season to be jolly, and nothing makes me feel jollier than a clean home. With the holidays right around the corner, it's time to get ready for friends and family, and there's no better way to do that than with Zero Res. If this is the first big gathering you're having this year with your friends and family during the holidays, it's a good idea to make sure Zero Res gets your home in tip-top shape for your company. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with over 17,000 reviews, and the Zero Res Gotta Love It guarantee makes it easy to get what you pay for. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129, and don't forget about your air ducts. Take an additional $75 off when you get your air duct Zero Res clean. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 31, then snow on Saturday with temperatures around 29. The nights are getting colder, but the music is still the hottest at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. View their upcoming music schedules and food menus at croonersloungemn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, Henny cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot, and we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You are right, Jacob. This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon, supporting honest Native news, stories, and events from Natives themselves. Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon.
Yes, thank you, Pinigigi, for all you new subscribers. We really appreciate it and helps keep the doors open. Hey, we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we are really always happy to have our Friday conversation with the state senator and catching up what's going on nationally and locally, and also just what the state senator's doing here. And it's good to see you, and welcome as always to Native Roots Radio.
Well, it's good to be here on a Friday afternoon. I think we're all sort of, well, Haley seems full of energy, but the two of us, I think, are kind of worn out. But it's good to see your faces and to be here for sure.
You too.
Definitely. Haley, how are you doing over there? You doing good?
I'm good. I think I have so much energy. I was up at 7. I met our good friend Amber Annis out there. Shout out to Amber at the History Center, and picked up some books. But I also had to pick up a large coffee. So I think that's what's still in my system.
Well, that's good because that stuff usually wears off on me after a couple hours. But hey, so you got a lot going on as always. We're revving up for a session coming up soon, and you have some legislative things you've been doing here to get ready. So give us an update, and let's go from there.
Sure. So here in Minnesota, we have biennial sessions, and we will begin our legislative session in the middle of February. And it's traditionally called a bonding year. So those are the years that we're allocating dollars to the infrastructure for Minnesota. Bridges, roads, our state-owned buildings, universities, colleges, all of those things. But then also the individual municipalities or unique projects that communities are going to come to us and ask us for some help financially on. And so I'm not on the bonding committee, but I know our bonding committee has been all over the state. I mean, all summer long, and even still, they are visiting all these different sites that are requesting money for support. The American Indian Center here in Minneapolis is building a beautiful new. Well, they're renovating the original building that's been around for decades and decades. And I was over there to see what the progress is not too long ago, and they have also requested bonding money. They just need a few more $1 million to complete the task, and then they wouldn't have debt connected to this project. But it's going to be a really new, improved, up-to-date, state-of-the-art building that supports our Native communities across the state. You know, in Minnesota, we've got the seven Anishinaabe Ojibwe tribes to the north of the Twin Cities. And then we've got our 4 Dakota tribes to the south of the Twin Cities. And everybody uses that facility. It's open all of the time. There are classes for the youth. There are classes for the elders. There's a cafe there that serves really healthy indigenous food. There's all kinds of programming going on in that building, and it's really gotten worn down pretty severely over the years. In fact, they had a gym there that was used for powwows and meetings and conferences and seminars. And when it rained, they had to bring buckets out because the roofs leaked that badly. So we got a little peek-see of how the progress is coming along. It's looking wonderful. And it's just going to be such an additional resource and bonus to that community on Franklin Avenue. So I'm really proud to have been part of that. I carried the bill to request those dollars. We did get some money for the American Indian Clinic for their mental health building. So that was a huge win. But other than that, a lot of people are asking to meet with me as the chair of Education Finance, even though finance was last year and we got that chunk of change to spend. People are still looking for those supports in any way that they can. And you mentioned that $2.4 million surplus and the fact that, you know, a lot of that is sort of earmarked, which means those dollars are already kind of spoken for. So when we do legislation and we put funding towards something, most of the time, and most organizations or nonprofits that receive dollars from our state government, they would like to see it put in our base so that every year they're going to get that allocation and they don't have to come back time and time again to provide those services. Sometimes we can do that, and then that means, like, for this surplus, that maybe those dollars are already spoken for. So it sort of wipes that surplus that we might think, oh, we could do some more cool projects. So we, a lot of people are looking for those dollars to do the work that they're doing. And I really have to manage a lot of people's expectations, a lot of organizations' expectations.
Right.
After last year, they appreciate what we did, but it just goes to show that that there's so much left to do in our communities and across the state. And I'm not sure we will, have that fun money to spend again the way we did last year, but Minnesota's in a good shape. They're, with the surplus and having filled our rainy day fund, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. I think you said 2.4 million. It was billion. And
Billion,
also,
yeah.
I just want to back up a second about the Indian Center. There was something that I thought I knew and I heard a while ago, is that there's more, like percentage-wise, there's more urban Indians than there are reservation Indians. So the Indian Center really, really helps our urban community also too in a big way. And so we're excited about that funding. And I think they're going to have a theater in there. New Native Theater will be based out of there. There will be a store. There's all these things that are happening there on the avenue. And I believe that building was built in 1972. Does that sound right?
That sounds right. I know it was in the 70s. I just didn't know the exact date. But, you mentioned that we have such a strong urban population. And it's also very transient, not in that, we do have a lot of homeless relatives, but there's a lot of movement between the reservations and the urban core. There's a lot of back and forth. And this is, sort of that one-stop shop where they know that they'll be able to get the resources, or if there are questions, there's always somebody there to answer them. And so I'm really excited to see the final product once they're done.
Right. And they've moved the building right up to the sidewalk where it was kind of pushed back further. And they're keeping some of the structure. Like, I know the gym's going to still be there somewhat, but of course, I'm sure they're going to fix the leaky roof. But totally excited about that, and the great support that you've given Franklin Avenue and our urban Indians, along with all the other stuff that you've done too. Just must be really a good feeling that you're able to help out the community and help out your area and help out the state.
Yeah, it is. I'm really proud of the position that I'm in at this time to help advocate for those important things.
Hey, it's Friday here, and it's Native Roots Radio, and we'll have Wendy with Fun Facts Friday of our Sacred Animal section later on. But we're here right now with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we're going to be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Oh.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hi, I'm Claudia with MinSure, Minnesota's official health insurance marketplace. With MinSure, you can compare health plans from multiple companies and get free help from a trusted expert. Whatever health plan you choose with MinSure, it's guaranteed to cover essential benefits, so you can get the care you need. See if you qualify for discounts, available only through MinSure. If you need quality, comprehensive health insurance, get started now at minsure.org.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go, so making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my vehicle can tackle what winter has up its sleeve. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to RudyLutherToyota.com and use their super easy Toyota service scheduler to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and it's a Friday here all over Turtle Island, and we're always excited to have our conversation with the state senator. And we kind of left off a little bit about the last session and how well things went, and how our communities are being funded, and now this is a different kind of session coming up. But I just want to remind everyone, Mary, how slim we have the state being all blue, but also there was a couple of years there as your first couple of years as senator, it was kind of rough.
Yeah, I was, when I joined the Senate, so I was in the Minnesota House for 4 years, and the first 2 years I was there, I was in the minority. Then the second 2 years I was in the majority, but we still had a split legislature with Democrats majority in the House and GOP majority in the Senate. So we still didn't get a lot done. And then I was elected to the Minnesota Senate in the minority. And then 2 years later, we took the majority. And it's just been, drinking from a hose ever since then. I think all of us that had, been subdued and our bills hadn't been heard, or the work wasn't getting done because we were kind of at a stalemate. We got a lot of that done last session, and a lot of really great things for Indian country as well. And we've talked about this before. I passed legislation to create a group to come up with a new flag for Minnesota and a new seal. And on Tuesday, did you see that? On Tuesday, it shows what we believe is going to be the new state seal for Minnesota. And I, for one, am very excited.
We love it here. We've talked about that. That seal's rocking.
That seal is really, it's really lovely. In Minnesota, we have, our state bird is the loon. You can hear them all over in northern Minnesota. You don't hear them so much down here in the Twin Cities or in southern Minnesota, but it is our state bird. And so that loon is front and center. Many people wanted the loon on the flag. Mm-hmm. And then to the left of it, so it's in a circular sort of shape, is wild rice. So a nod to our sacred grains. Yeah. And then there are the rippling waters and evergreens to represent the forest, and of course a star to represent the north, the L'Étoile du Nord, the star of the north. Yeah. And it's really lovely. They have a couple of different versions of it, one in like full color and one that is sort of a just all bronze. There you go. And they're just I think it's a kind of seal that I am going to be proud to wear on a pin on my lapel or have it on my stationery. I think it's going to be really great. But we still have the flag. We still have to do the flag. So we're only 50% completed by the end of the month.
Yeah. I like the last one when it comes to the flag where it has the rippling water. That one I like the best. And it's a flag, so you have to know how it's
looks while it's waving in the air and things
Yeah.
like that. But that seal was a
Mhm.
home run for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think there were so many really, really, really good submissions. I'm not going to lie. It was not an easy task to whittle down either the seal or the flag. So many creative people out there in the good old state of Minnesota. But we were committed to following the good rules of vexology and keeping it simple, just
Yeah.
3 colors, no words, something a 3rd grader could draw from memory.
Yeah.
Those are the sort of things, and I think we talked about this too on this show, is that, yeah, some of those examples seem kind of flat and uninspiring, but honestly, just as you said, when you see them on a pole rippling in the wind, and there's an app where
Mhm.
you can do that, it really changes the flag and it really brings it to life. And so I'm very excited to see what our final decision will be. I'm a non-voting member of that commission, and so the discussion has been very lively, a lot of good ideas, and I'm just very excited for this.
Yeah, we had, I was gonna say state senator. We had Kate Bean on, and she was on that committee and talking
Mhm.
about it. And she was, just before the deadline, a week or so before the deadline, asking for more people to and the native people to, put something in there. But, yeah, that's gotta be a hard decision too, because I think with a lot of people, you can't butter the right side of the bread for them. So it's
Mhm.
you always have those naysayers, but heck, anything beats what we had before, and I really appreciate you kind of,
Mhm.
pushing that old flag out of there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate it too. So thank you, Mary. Honestly, just
Yep.
for all of the great work that you've been doing and continue to do.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I was awarded a beautiful award this week for some of the work that we did around ICWA and MIFPA, Indian Family Welfare Act, and then Minnesota Indian Family Preservation Act. If you remember, this time last year, we were all in a huge panic
Mm,
that ICWA was going to be
right.
rescinded at the federal level. And I'm the kind of person that prefers to be proactive than reactive. So I asked our legislative experts to go through our current MIFPA
Okay.
statute and look for ways that we could bolster it, protect it, remove any ICWA, the word ICWA or anything that would, if ICWA were to go away,
Right.
it would make our MIFPA bill or statute null and void. And so they worked long and hard on it all summer long. And then there is a working group, and Rebecca McConkey Green is sort of has headed that up. They did a lot of the work with the counties and all the all the agencies and whatnot. And we were able to put together a really good bill last year that put those protections in place.
Mhm.
It wasn't perfect. We knew that there was still much work to do, and Rebecca has been heading that up all this summer too. She's worked very, very, very hard on it. So we'll have some updates for MIFPA, but this award was called. I have to remember what this award is called. But it was through the University of Minnesota, through their Humphrey Institute. And it's the Esther Wattenberg Policy Award. And it really was to acknowledge the policy and contributions that are impacted children and families in Minnesota. Representative Keeler also received the award, and there was a beautiful ceremony at the University of Minnesota at the Humphrey School, and we received just a gorgeous award.
Mm.
And there were a lot of good people there, the people that were boots on the ground doing the work. And they've been doing this work for decades. I mean, some of them decades. And so I feel like they should all have had an award as well. But I was really proud to accept that work on behalf of the work that we did with MIFBA.
Well, that's just a great example of working for the people.
Yeah.
I mean, really. And I'm sure the people that have been working on it for years really appreciate you and Representative Keeler's support, because that makes things happen. That makes the government work. And that's a huge deal.
It's really big, and it was a lot of work. What people don't maybe realize is all the behind the scenes work we do at the legislature, preparing for the next session.
Right.
And the staff that we have, mostly nonpartisan staff, just do an incredible job during the off season, but also when we're in session. Oh my gosh, they are there almost 24/7. With maybe not always a smile on their face, but a can-do attitude. And that makes all of the difference when we are trying to run a state government in the best way for our constituents.
We have a lot of Wisconsin listeners and Dakotas and these places that are gerrymandered. Do you have any advice or consoling words towards our purple states out there? Because I mean, the gerrymandering's really messed up a lot of our neighbors there, and they would love to have things happening in their state that's happening in Minnesota, but it didn't happen overnight. Like you said, when you were a representative, things were different. There was a split House and a split Senate. So do you have any words for our listeners? Anything positive for them?
I just want to say hang in there and continue to do the good work that they can do, in their communities at that community level, because that's what holds everything up. And representation really does matter if we're looking at how we want to get this done. And so support good candidates, get out there and door knock for them, contribute to their campaigns, run yourself, and be the change that needs to happen.
Hey, we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh on deck, double deck, I think, in 2 segments from now is Wendy. Hey, Wendy, say hi.
Hey, ready to give an animal update.
Wow, there you have it. We're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back with State Senator Mary Kunesh. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a go-to card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Holiday shopping is easy with the Park Tavern. From now until December 31st, stop into the Park Tavern and buy a $100 gift card. You'll receive a $25 Park Tavern gift card for free. You heard that right. Buy a $100 Park Tavern gift card, you'll receive a $25 gift card for free. The best part is you get to decide which gift card you keep and which gift card you gift. The Park Tavern is open regular hours throughout the holiday season, offering great food and family fun. On Louisiana Avenue, north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park, the holidays are just better with the Park Tavern.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
Temperatures are cooling off and fall migration is underway. Do you know what that means? Eagle viewing season is almost here, and the National Eagle Center is your headquarters for information and experiences. This winter, experience bald and golden eagles in the wild with an unforgettable expert-led field trip. Plan your private eagle habitat tour and learn where the best eagle viewing is with weekly eagle counts. Plus, you can visit the eagles at the center all season long. Plan your visit or experience today online at nationaleaglecenter.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 31, then snow on Saturday with temperatures around 29. The nights are getting colder, but the music is still the hottest at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. View their upcoming music schedules and food menus at croonersloungemn.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul, keeping us awake.
Yes, and we love Steve's Blend, don't we, Wendy?
We do.
Yes.
The Triple X Steve's Blend Extra Dark.
That's right. And it wakes us up. Hey, and we are awake, and we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we're wrapping it up here, last segment with her, and really talking a lot of good stuff here. We were talking a little bit in the break here about your dog, and it's so fun, and it's always cool when we hear people have adopted dogs, and like your family adopted that dog, and it's just, it warms my heart, and I know Wendy's too, that, adopt, don't shop.
Yeah, I did dog foster care for about 5 years.
Wow.
And we eventually adopted the final one, the last one we kept. And it was just a fascinating experience. It was so goofy how these dogs would come into Minnesota and you really wouldn't know what you were going to get next. We got a couple of super goofy dogs that probably had been crated most of their life. And there was one little one, we called him Crybaby, because he had scar tissue that looked like a tear right under his eye. And he was, I'm pretty sure he was feral. He just was like all over the place and whatnot. But it was extremely rewarding to be able to do that. So yeah, now I'm dog sitting my daughter's dog, and I think I discovered it's called a Carolina dog or something dingo dog. So, but he's a good dog.
Yeah, and Wendy and I used to do transports, and we got older dogs, so we'd bring where they were from, Indiana, right, Wendy?
Yeah, the dogs were from Indiana. Some of them came up from Texas and Kentucky, and they went to a rescue organization, Every Dog Counts Rescue in Indiana. And there was 7 legs to the transport, and we would go from Minnesota to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We were the 7th leg, the last leg, and we got to get the dogs and bring them to the fosters.
It was interesting, Mary, and you guys, that we adopted older dogs this last time, and when we were transporting older dogs, they really seemed grateful and like they got it. It was really strange, and I think it was that.
Yeah, they're wise.
Yeah,
they were wise.
They were wise, and they probably knew that this was their last chance, because oftentimes if they can't find a place for them, they're euthanized. And we had 2 other really crazy dogs that were on the chopping block. sniff out the scab or research.
Oh.
And they go to a lot of these kennels and whatnot. And there were these 2 dogs, and usually they're blue heelers that they're looking for, Australian heelers, because they have good nose. They're really super smart. They follow directions well. There are these 2, I swear. I mean, they used to jump off the deck of my house. It's on the 2nd floor. They were just nutso, but we did find a really good home, and they got to go together, and that was important. Yeah.
That's a great story.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I lost so much weight that summer walking those dogs and getting them to the dog park.
Have you guys ever seen the dogs who would get up on people's roofs and then they would have to get their dogs down?
Yes.
Like through the window or something, or they jump up on something outside.
Yeah, easily these dogs could have done that. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow. Well, we were lucky. We had those 3 dogs, and we are only down to 1 now, and it was heartbreaking, but we gave them a good life the last few years of their life, Wendy.
Yeah, well, Emma, she was a Yorkshire Terrier. We got her when she was 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when she was 15 years old, and Gracie was like 6, 7,
Right.
and Wanda was 6 or 7 when we got her. We
Right.
still have Wanda. Wanda's probably 12 now. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long did the 16-year-old live with you then?
Oh, so she was 15 and we had her a year and a half. So
Yeah.
she was
Okay.
16 and a half.
That
Yeah.
dog, Mary, never took a bad picture. It was insane. It was
She was very
very
photogenic.
photogenic. It's like, wow.
Oh, well,
We might
bless
have-
you for giving them that good quality of end of life for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Well, rounding up here, we got a few more minutes with State Senator Mary Kunesh. What does your week look like ahead? More traveling around. I know you've been touching base with the schools across the state and seeing how things are happening and what's happening in there. What else do you got going on, or is it more of that?
I do have a couple more visits with local schools, and that's been so rewarding. And I know that if your senator's coming in, you're going to set it up to look good, and the kids are going to be behaved and engaged and all of those things. But I feel like I have a good relationship with my community schools where they can really tell me the truth. Like, tell me really what you need me to do. I'm not here to give you an award or to bust your chops, but give us a really good idea of what needs to happen next when we are building educational policy and finance for the state of Minnesota. It's been extremely rewarding and just a great way to make those connections. I think that, maybe in the past, there's been distrust or, thoughts that we don't really care what's going on in our schools. But this proved to be really a good practice. I'm meeting with a lot of folks across the board, working on a couple of bills already, and fine tuning the work that we're going to be doing in February.
Yeah. If someone was to try and get a bill to the legislature, what would be the best time for them to do something like that?
If they would have started by now, would have been really, really great. But if you have ideas or you think that something needs to change, I would say reach out to your legislator now. And again, the legislator, the senator, the House representative, we don't write the bills. We have the research people and our expertise to do those sort of things. But if you bring the idea to us or the problem, and even if you have a solution to those, even better, we can start working on those now. Once session starts, it's just too hard. It just moves so fast. It's better to do it sooner than later.
Oh, that's good to know. Wendy, you have any questions? I know you're a veteran of going down to the Capitol and speaking your truth.
I just want to thank Mary, Senator Kunesh, every time we came in, the Humane Society of the United States, we would come and lobby for humane laws in Minnesota and in St. Paul. And you were always so gracious to have us in your office and talk to us about, what humane laws and ordinances we'd like to have passed there. And you always supported us. So I just want to thank you for that. It's been really great working with you over the years.
Thank you. It's really helpful when we have organizations such as yours to be doing the work outside of the Capitol, but then come to us and give us updates on what's happening, what's not happening, and it's those partnerships and the collaboration that really makes our state legislature, our state government work well.
Yeah, it really is. That's a good point, Wendy. And it's always fun to see someone and I think the more as citizens go to their capital and get engaged, the more they feel at home, and the more that it is their house.
Yes, definitely.
Well, Robert, you came and testified in one of the bills, and I don't know. Do you feel like more empowered, more comfortable now that you've done that? At least
was that for the wolf bill?
Yeah, that was.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel really cool, and I was and to pay attention how maybe the other side of what you're talking about is responding to other people too, so you're ready to respond back to them in a positive, good way, and not combative, and being civil and all those things that I didn't grow up that way, so I really had to learn how to do that kind of stuff the older I've gotten. But Wendy's helped me.
Well, I think I was ready to reach out at some point, Robert, to okay, calm down. But you did an excellent job. And when we do find experts that really do know what they're talking about, it's so helpful to bring them into our committee hearings and hear what they have to say in the full committee of Democrats and Republicans, so that we can get those different viewpoints. It always helps me understand the issues better.
Well, it was fun, and it was great having Wendy there to support me, because she's done things like that for years. And I had bullet points, and maybe not as prepared as Wendy usually is, but I did pretty good that time.
No,
I would not have had that comeback that you did, Robert. I cannot think as fast on my feet as you do. So I'm really proud of you, how you handled yourself.
Yeah, I remember watching the video of you giving your testimony, and I just remember the large applause from the audience and the people behind you when you spoke your truth, and how moving that was, and how much emotion that added to your testament. And I think the comeback too was something about gun laws, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the
He brought that
Republicans,
into the conversation.
Yeah, a
right, the
Republican did.
Republican brought in, abortion,
Oh yeah.
and I'm
While we were
going,
talking about protecting Minnesota wolves.
right.
Yeah.
So,
And it was just like, this does not have anything to do with what we're talking about.
Wait a minute, I don't have a bullet point for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, it was my pleasure, and it's great because you were there running the show, and we know you and seen you around the community all the time and get to say hi to you. So that's always comforting, and I think that's kind of what you were talking about, Wen.
Yeah, definitely.
It gains more trust too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks, State Senator. Have a great week. Really appreciate you always checking in, and very positive and good way to end the weekend. Up next, we got Wendy Pilot with our Sacred Animals section.
Stay with us.
All right, we'll be right back. Thanks, State Senator.
Bye, everyone.
We'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
Hi, I'm Claudia with MinSure, Minnesota's official health insurance marketplace. With MinSure, you can compare health plans from multiple companies and get free help from a trusted expert. Whatever health plan you choose with MinSure, it's guaranteed to cover essential benefits, so you can get the care you need. See if you qualify for discounts, available only through MinSure. If you need quality, comprehensive health insurance, get started now at minsure.org.
Unveil the captivating world of native photography at the Minneapolis Institute of Art. Their new exhibit, In Our Hands, Native Photography 1890 to Now, turns the camera around and puts native photographers in control, featuring hundreds of photographs captured by generations of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and Native Americans. You'll view the world through their lens, revealing the beauty and complexity of Indigenous heritage. Don't miss this incredible experience. Visit In Our Hands at the Minneapolis Institute of Art now through January 14th. For more info, visit artsmia.org.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Is your remote workforce putting your company at risk? Cyber criminals are targeting your employees with COVID-19 inspired emails and attacking businesses like yours. Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. Rymark has the tools and expertise to enable your employees to work securely from home. If you need help getting your staff to work remotely and securely, call 651-328-8900 or go to rymarkit.com. That's 651-328-8900 or rymarkit.com.
This is Leonard Peltier. I am in Coleman 1, U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
I did a howl chewing on a
bone.
No, a leaf.
Oh,
our,
a leaf.
Our wolves are vegan.
Nice.
Hey, I want to introduce Wendy, our awesome and beautiful wife. My awesome, beautiful wife, and Wendy's been on for over 7 years in Native Roots Radio, and we've been learning so much over the years. I know I have about our sacred animals, and it's always great to have you on, Wen.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state levels. And it's always my pleasure to do that. So I just got my update in the mail today, Robert. It came. It's called All Animals, and it's the update from the Humane Society of the United States, and it's marked winter of 2024.
Ooh.
And my hero is on the cover.
Oh,
Who is that?
Jane Goodall.
Oh, good
Yeah,
one.
so Jane Goodall, she's awesome, and I've been following her through her career.
I got your
over
autograph.
the
Look.
years. I know. Yeah, so she went into the forests of Tanzania, Africa, and she studied wild chimpanzees. And she's a PhD DBE, and she's the founder of the Jane Goodall Institute and the United Nations Messenger of Peace. So she's done great work through her career. So I just wanted to tell you that. And I get this update because I donate to the Humane Society of the United States, and I'm also a humane policy volunteer leader. And they just came up with their 2023 reflections on all the good stuff that they did in 2023. Wow. And there's so much, there's so much stuff, we're not even going to be able to get it through, but I just wanted to talk about a couple of the real highlights.
Yeah.
And some of the things that, me and my counterparts in the Humane Society of the United States, we went and we talked to our legislators about,
Awesome.
so it's really fun. Like when we would go meet our legislators, our House representatives, our city council members to get stuff done, and then you see it
Yeah.
in the magazine
Yeah.
as 2023 reflection of what passed and what good work the Humane Society of the United States did.
Yes.
Yeah, and continue to do. But I just want to remind everyone that the Humane Society of the United States does not adopt out any dogs or cats, or we're not involved in that. What we're involved in is legislation. So I'm a volunteer lobbyist for them, and that's what I do. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to become a volunteer leader, we're called we used to be called council members,
Mm-hmm.
but now we're called Humane Policy Volunteer Leaders.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big name.
Yep.
Humane
Title.
Policy Volunteer Leader. And we had to put the L at the end, or else we would have been Humane HPV, which is human papillomavirus. So
Yeah, maybe not that.
So they had to put the leader at
Jeez.
the end. So
Yeah.
We got to get T-shirts.
But anyway, let's go here. We're going to reflect on 2023 and what all the great things that the Humane Society of the United States did. So we have, I don't know this company, and I'm really surprised about it, but with our help, and when I say our help, that's the Humane Society of the United States, Mondelez International, they are the makers of Oreos, Triscuits, and more.
Mm-hmm.
They will only use cage-free eggs by 2025. That's huge.
And Oreos are vegan. They don't even
Oreos.
use that.
Yeah. The Oreos do not use
Right.
the eggs. They are vegan. But really, this company, Mondelez International, they operate in 80 countries.
Oh.
That's how big they are. So going cage-free is huge. Just huge. So that's great. And they give you like a little paragraph underneath about all the details, but I'm not going to have time to do that. So in May, the United States Supreme Court upheld California's Proposition 12, which requires that mother pigs, egg-laying hens, and calves raised for veal in the state are not cruelty confined.
God, that's a big
The
thing.
law also bans the in-state sale of pork, eggs, and veal produced via extreme confinement. So California doesn't even allow those meat and egg to come into their state if those animals were kept in confined cages. So that's
huge.
Proposition 12 is awesome. And we had to call our state senators about that. So we worked on that. 310 veterinary professionals and students volunteered 24,640 hours to care for 8,492 animals through their rural area veterinary service program. So that's a lot of hours, a lot of volunteers, and a lot of animals that really, benefited from this. 5 students received $10,000 scholarships from the Humane Society Veterinarian Medical Association. That's really great. Let's see what else. I don't want to read every single one, but I want to read the ones that I'm really
jazzed about.
Well, here's one. This is really good too. Their animal rescue team responded to 3,495 animal cruelty complaints, assisted law enforcement with cases involving more than 65 different species, including dogs, cats, goats, snakes, kangaroos, ferrets, and more, and traveled to 12 states and 2 countries this year.
That's huge.
Yeah, to help with animal cruelty cases.
Let me get applause on that.
Yeah, right?
Haley, don't you have an applause one on yours too?
I don't think I do yet. I'll have to get a different one so they sound different.
Yeah, get a clappy one.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know, but the dog meat trade in Korea is still around.
Yeah.
But 198 dogs were rescued from Korea meat farms this year alone by the Humane Society International.
Jeez.
Yeah, those are they
like
go
to
over
more
all of
about
them.
that.
Yeah. A decade-long fight in the United States to end the private possession of big cats at the federal level ended when the Big
Please
Cat
do, geez.
Public Safety Act went into effect in June. We went and talked also about that
Yeah,
one. Do you remember
that's-
that?
God, I remember you and I driving to one of those damn places.
Yep.
Up northern Minnesota, not even that
Yes.
far away.
Yep, where people kept those big cats. I know.
Oh,
Yeah. Mhm.
Outdoors,
Mhm.
take a picture with them.
Yep.
Let me make money off these poor
Exactly.
things.
And the animal goes back in the cage with no enrichment, sits there all day until the next person comes and takes a picture with them. Or this is just people who get these
Right.
big cats and keep them in their house as like a pet. And then,
Get mauled.
then they get too big
Then
and
they
they
get
can't
mauled.
handle it. And then the animal,
Eats them.
Exactly. But usually people don't even realize what kind of food and nutrition these animals need. And most of them are really sick when they're rescued because they haven't gotten the correct nutrients and stuff. Yeah.
Jeez. 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. What else do we have here? California became the first state to end the sale of new animal fur products when its ban went into effect in January.
Nice.
So
Fur
that's good.
free.
Yes, fur free. That's right. 12 of the 50 top food service companies in the United States have set public plant-based menu and meat reduction goals after working with the Humane Society of the United States. So more plant-based foods are out there and going around, and it's better for people, better for the planet, better for the economy, better for the earth.
Right on. Hey, Wendy Pinagigi, thank you so much for your report, and maybe we'll get deeper into that next week.
Yeah, I got lots more here.
Hey, this has been Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Now.
Wow.